Well. When I saw the recent article in Far Out magazine, I had to tell you about it. Who's the guitarist that made Robert Smith want to be a musician? Let's find out. By now, many of you know who my favorite guitarists are, one of them being Smith. This article just came out a few days ago. As the frontman of The Cure, Robert Smith has become synonymous with the world of goth, and is also celebrated as a hero of post-punk, chorus-laden guitars, and an era that is far removed from the classic rock period that it was reacting to. However, like many of the artists who emerged in the punk epoch, his roots were firmly in the music of the previous period. While Smith's immense love of hard rock legend Thin Lizzy is one of the most surprising aspects of his life and times, with him dubbing Phil Lynot's band as one of the best live. There's another artist who had an even greater impact on Smith, in that he inspired him to become a musician. Jimi Hendrix. Wow, Jimi Hendrix, my number one guitar and music hero, who I first properly discovered when I was 13. Then 2 years later, I discovered The Cure. I went way deep into both of them. There was a time when I was 16 when I was listening to nothing but Jimi Hendrix and The Cure. I couldn't listen to anything else. At that time, I had no idea about Smith's mutual love of Jimi. Although musically, you might never catch Smith playing the blues with The Cure or bursting into frenetic solos, I beg to differ. The Cure's The Kiss features a long, wah-drenched, frenetic solo, as well as the longer, full mix of Never Enough. When scratching deeper beneath the surface, there are clear connections. One is that the British band have heavily experimented with psychedelia on numerous occasions, such as on 1984's deeply narcotic The Top. Another is that they have always followed their own path creatively, something Hendrix did from the moment he picked up the guitar. Smith credits his older siblings, Richard and Margaret, with exposing him to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones when just 6 years old. Then, aged 8 in 1967, when psychedelic rock was at its summit and Hendrix had burst onto the scene, they played him the otherworldly sound of Purple Haze, which proved a formative listening experience for him. He might have been a child, but his brother's love of psychedelic rock opened his eyes to the transformative power of music. Remarkably, Smith even saw Hendrix live. Aged only 11, he watched Hendrix deliver the storied show at the Isle of Wight Festival in August 1970, which occurred just 3 weeks before his untimely death. This was the moment that cemented Hendrix's place as an icon, and it added more gravity to the event, knowing the young Smith was there, wide-eyed and wanting a slice of the action himself. Wow. I've listened to and seen that Isle of Wight concert hundreds of times. Of course I have the DVD. And now to think that Robert Smith was in the audience? Wow. In the years since that show, Smith has discussed the impact Hendrix had on him in making him want to become a musician and not a footballer, due to him conveying a clear sense of freedom and pure excitement with his work. Smith once said, "Hendrix was the first person I had come across who seemed completely free. And when you're 9 or 10, your life is completely dominated by adults. So he represented this thing that I wanted to be." Hendrix was the first person who made me think it might be good to be a singer and a guitarist. Before that, I wanted to be a footballer. Fittingly, in 1993, The Cure covered Purple Haze in a gothic, droning tribute to Smith's ultimate hero. This glacial rendition is included in the album Stone Free, a tribute to Jimi Hendrix, featuring an evil-sounding synth, the classic opening chord loop, a mechanical bass line, and a languid, baggy beat. The originality The Cure showed in doing their cover this way tapped into the very essence of Hendrix's innovation. It's likely that if he'd have lived, he'd have greatly appreciated it. Later, I discovered the Guitar Player issue, which featured Robert Smith on the cover for the first time. For every album we do, I assemble a bunch of songs that have something that I'm trying to capture. When we were recording 17 Seconds, I would listen over and over to a tape with 4 songs. Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower from Live at the Isle of Wight, Nick Drake's Fruit Tree, Van Morrison's Madame George from Astral Weeks, and the Cacciatorian ballet piece that's on the 2001 soundtrack. He's referring to the soundtrack of the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey. The interviewer asks him, "Any other crucial listening?" My top 5 all-time favorite songs are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix, Tom Waits' Tom Traubert's Blues, Give My Compliments to the Chef by the sensational Alex Harvey Band, David Bowie's Life on Mars, and Faith by Us. Jimi Hendrix has always been my idol, though I absolutely hate Crash Landing, Midnight Lightning, and all that. I remember first hearing Cry of Love on a really good stereo when I was 11. I listened with headphones on maximum, just deafened by this stunning stereo picture. It was one of those moments that stuck with me through my life. So here we have this cosmic convergence of two of my all-time favorite guitarists and musical influences. I highly suggest listening to everything by Jimi Hendrix and The Cure. Both are timeless artists that will continue to influence musicians forever. Please remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment. Which of these videos and insights are you enjoying the most? Don't forget to download my free guitar solo worksheet and checklist. It'll help you craft your solos more creatively and effectively. Just click the link in the video description below and sign up today to get your free copy. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you immensely. Have an awesome creative day.